Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miel Hebraica, Hebrew honey. In Hebrew, the vash is honey, and based on Psalm 119, 103. How sweet your word is to my taste, sweeter than honey, than the vash. And today I'm going to be looking at basically the word azav. And we find it, of course, in a very interesting passage, which is used both in the Old Testament and the New Testament. It's Psalm 22, verse 1. My God, why have you abandoned me? Or why have you forsaken me? This in Hebrew is Eli Eli Lama Azabatani. And this is one of the words of the cross. Jesus quoted this verse when he was suffering on the cross. And a cry of anguish, something which he went through so that we might have salvation. So it's a very powerful lament here. Psalm 22, the first half of it or so, is a clamor to the Lord, asking for care, asking for help, and then the second half of the psalm is a response of the Lord in providing. So it's one of those psalms that has development through it. So, but we're only going to look at the first part, and we're also going to look at numerous examples of azav. This azav is a word that's widely used in the Old Testament. I'm going to basically mostly stick with the Psalms, although we'll get into Ruth a little bit, we'll get into Genesis a little bit. So, but azav is to abandon or to abandon or to forsake. And here it is, Psalm 22, verse 1. My God, why have you forsaken me? Why are you so far from saving me from the words of my groaning? And Eli Eli Lama Azabatani, Rachok, Mishuati, Dibare, Sha'agati. My God, this is God, of course, with the possessive pronoun in the end. My God, Eli Eli. In the versions of Aramaic, you're going to hear Eloi, but this is Eli Eli Lama. This is for why. You have a lama purpose tied to a mem, and it becomes lama. Why? Okay, why? For why? It's one of the interrogatory. It's a questioning word here, particle. Azabatani. Azav, the very first part, ayin zayin bet, is to abandon, to forsaken. Okay, and then ta is you. So azav, ta, you abandon, ni, to me. Okay, you abandon to me. Okay, azav tani. Azav, abandon, you to me. Okay, azav tani. Rehok me Yeshua ti. This word, of course, is interesting because we should recognize it pretty quickly. Yeshua, okay, Jehovah saves. Jesus, of course, derived also from this word. So it's very interesting that Jesus was using a psalm which had mentioned basically a reference to him, but he didn't. He only quoted the first part, the part with the most impact. This also has impact, but he didn't include that, and maybe it's because his name was also in there. But Rehok Pisha Mishuati, your saving of me. Debari, from the words of my words, debris. This one's always going to be appeal with the hirik running most of the time. Shagati, I am groaning. So this is of my groaning. Yeah, same ending of yod here as we have here. So. And we see that here too, and here. So, and there. Oh, more than half the words in this psalm are first-person singular suffixes. So it's an interesting thing to see. It's referencing to one in a very personal way. To me. Okay, so it appears numerous times. Now, as we know, this passage has been quoted by Jesus on the cross. Matthew 27:46, and about the 9th hour, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eli Eli Lama Azabatani. It is, my God, why have you forsaken me? Now take a look here. This word here is azabatani. That's an ayin zayin bet, and we don't have the ayin here. So this version, which is probably Aramean, the ayin in the front of this one has suffered elision. In other words, it's been absorbed. It's been kind of dropped, and so a pharisee has taken place here on this particular, on the very first syllable. But it still makes a lot of sense. Sabachthani, although the Hebrew, strictly speaking, is azabatani. So it's this ayin. This ayin does not appear here at the start of this particular thing, but enough of it is the same, so we know it is the very same passage. We also have this passage in the Codex, and here we just took a little copy out of this portion right here. The Sasson, this dates from about 1,100 years ago, about the year 900 after Christ. And this very first part of the Manasseh Eliat Shahar Mishmor David. This is the title. It's a little bit complicated, so I'm not going to get into that. Eli Eli, okay, my God, my God. There's a mark here that doesn't appear in our passages, but it's here. Eli Eli, my God, my God. Little atna right here. No, this is a muna. Okay, it's going around to the left. It's muna. Lama. Hey, you've got a nice rafe right here. Lama. Again, another muna. Lama azabatani. There's a verb we're interested in. Azav tani. Okay, azav tani. There's the dagesh in the tau right here. Okay, azabatani. Rahok. Okay, rahok. Mishuati. Rahok Mishati, my salvation from saving me. Debris, words. Sha'agati, I am groaning. My words which I am groaning. Now, azav is also found right here in the middle. Azav. In fact, this is a beautiful example of it because it doesn't have much of anything agglutinated to it. There's a low prefix with a makef right here, but other than that, it's a pretty clear shot here. The word here, azav, to forsaken, okay, and it's not forsaken. This is a negative here, of course. Lo azav, okay. Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, may he be blessed by the Lord, who has not forsaken his kindness to the living or the dead. And Naomi continued, the man is a close relative. He's one of our family redeemers. Megolenu, he's a goel, he's a redeemer to us. Okay. So Batomer Naomi le kalata, and Naomi said to her daughter-in-law, kala. The word kala is something that completes it. So the daughter-in-law is something that completes the family. Okay, le kalata, the one who completes the family. Baruch, blessed. Hu, him, he. L'Adonai, to the Lord, the Yahweh. Asher lo asav, who has not abandoned hasdo, his mercy. He has not abandoned his mercy. Okay. Lo asav hasdo. Et haim, to the living ones. Haim, chet yod, very clear shot at the plural, living ones. Ve'et ha metim, and to the ones who have died. The dead ones as well. Thinking about what happened in the past, Jehovah was faithful to Elimelech and to the sons, but so those who have died have also been under this blessing, the Baruch right here. Tomer, and she said to her, Naomi. So Naomi said to her, this her here, Mapik would be in reference to Ruth. Karov, a close. He is close to us. Okay, he is close to us, a close relative. Karov lanu, Haish, the man. Migo alenu, he's a goel. He's a megolenu. He's coming. He's there to redeem us. He's a redeemer. He, him. That's him. Pointing finger, right? out towards where Boaz is out there in the field. So him. Psalm 9 verse 10, and they trust in him. And they trust in you, those knowing your name, because you have not abandoned those who seek you, Yahweh. Okay. Yev tehu. Bata is to trust, and it's plural here. Yevatehu becha, in you, reference to Jehovah. Yodea, those knowing, Shimcha, your name. Ki lo azavta. Now this is the second person singular. You have the same. You have not. Okay. Lo azavta. You have not abandoned. You have not abandoned. And if we remember back to Psalm 22, it's azabatani. So you have azav. You have not abandoned. Then you have azav, and then in Psalm 22 you have azavatani. Okay. You have not abandoned to me. Here you don't have that last pronoun suffix on this particular form right here. It's standing by itself here. Azavta, doreshcha, those who are seeking Jehovah, those who are seeking you, O Jehovah. This one is you here from doreshcha, those seeking you, O Jehovah. Key, now this is Psalm 16 verse 10, for you will not abandon me to Sheol. You will not allow your faithful one to see decay. It's a very interesting psalm referencing to God's protection upon us, and of course also quoted in the New Testament. Ki lo ta azov. Okay? This is not. So again a negation. But again, this time it's the previous ones we've seen suffixed verbs. This one's a prefixed verb. Okay, the ta is in the front here. So lo tazov, you have not abandoned, or you will not abandon. Nafshi, my life, my soul. Le Sheol, okay, very clear shot of Sheol right here. Le Sheol, Sheol. Lo taten, you will not give, or you will not position, you will not allow. Hazdicha, your faithful one. Le'erot, in order to see shahat, destruction, decay. Okay, we're talking about the pits of destruction. That's beor shahat. We saw that in some previous videos. Here it again, just shahat, the decay, rotting inside a cistern sort of thing. So you will not allow that to. You will not see this happen to the Hashidecha, to the faithful one. Ki avi ve'ami azav uni. This is then a third person plural right here. Even my father and mother abandoned me. So this one's then the suruk here pushes it up to a plural, and then but the ni is the very same as the azabatani. Okay, though they abandoned me. Okay. Even though Avi, my father, Emi, and my mother, Azabuni, are abandoning to me. Yahweh, okay, but Jehovah, comparative then, Ya'azveni. Azav is to add on. He keeps me added in. He keeps me on the roll. He keeps he's taking care of me. Okay, he cares for me. So that's the way we understand this azav. Okay, azav is something that's added in. He keeps adding me in. Okay. Yahweh, Ya'azveni, Ya'asaf, okay, Asaf. The word Joseph is derived from this particular verb here, the one who's been added in, okay, the one who's been added on. I've been young, and now I'm old, and yet I have not seen the righteous abandoned or the children begging for bread. This is Psalm 37, verse 25. Na'ar, a child or a boy. Hayiti, I was. Gam, zakanti, and also I am old. Okay, these are what's called stative verbs. Okay, I am a boy. I am, and also an old person. I am. I'm aged. I'm old. Okay, I'm young. I'm a boy. I am, and aged. I am. So it's stative words because it's this condition of your state. In other words, explains who you are, and in a sense. These in Hebrew, they just the the timing or the timing or the tense of these verbs. Often, if it's something that's happening right now, it's in the present. It can be often translated in the present. But here, if we're looking back to when we were a child, this one's going to be to the past, okay? Because just tensing in the Hebrew then depends entirely on context. And if we're looking to being a child, well, that was in the past, so that's going to be in the past. But now I happen to be old, so it's the same setup, same root, and same construction and everything. But this one's going to be in the past because when I was a boy, and this is now when I'm old. Okay. Ve'lo raiti, and I'm not seeing. Sadik, the righteous ones. Ne azav, abandoned. Okay. Sadik, the righteous one, I'm not seeing the righteous one abandoned. Okay, this is a negation right here. Ve'lo raiti, sadik. Ne azav. Zero and his seed, his children, descendants. Mebakesh, seeking or begging for lacham. Okay, lacham. This usually is it's still a segolet because of the segol right here. Accent has been pushed up. Siluk went up to this syllable. So in a sense, it is milel still. Okay, mebakesh lacham. They have not begging for bread, not seeking for bread. Psalm 37:28. Still in Psalm 28, there's a lot of comparisons going in Psalm 28 between the righteous and the unrighteous, or the faithful ones and the wicked. And this is another one that does make that comparison. The Lord loves justice. He will not abandon his faithful ones. So here we go. Lo Yazov. Okay. Lo Yazov. He will not abandon. Okay. This one's a prefix. This time around, it's the third person singular prefix. He will not abandon. Lo Yasov, et hashidav, his faithful ones, plural because of the yod. And leolam nishmro, his kept safe forever. Zero rashaim nikrat, okay, the seed of the evil ones will be cut away, will be destroyed. Nakrat, nikrat. This is will be cut off. Ki Yahweh ohev, because the Lord loves mishpat, that he loves justice. Lo yeshov, does not abandon et ha sidikav. Leolam nishmiru vezera rishaim nekarat. They are kept safe forever. Okay, this is kept safe forever right here. They will be guarded forever, and their seed of the wicked will be destroyed. Lord will not abandon him to his power or let him be condemned when he's brought to trial. Yahweh lo yazbeinu. The Lord does not abandon him, beyado, into his hand. Okay. Does not abandon him to his hand. So here's the prefix form of azav, and the yod is the prefix here. Azav is the root, and then it's poetic, and this is the nun sounds like us, but no, it's he. Okay, into his hand, into another's hand of power of condemnation. Velo yareshenu, but not the evil ones. He will not be condemned. Well, yeah, he will not be brought to evil. Behish fatot, in the justice, in shafot is trial or justice here, in his justice, when he is caused to be brought to justice. Okay, causative he, preposition of in, when, yeah, when right here. Behi shafot, okay, in his justice being brought upon him. In Genesis 2 verse 24, very interesting use of azav, and we find that azav is, here it is, azav, okay, azav, prefix form of the yod is a prefix on the root is zayin bet, and alken for most certainly, and that is why, okay, ken is the word for yes, and then most yes. and then on yes, okay, then most certainly, and this is why. Yashav will abandon, Ish, a man will abandon, et Aviv ve'et imo, will abandon his father and his mother, ve'dabek, and he will bond, he will glue himself, he will join, he will join up with be'ishto, with his wife, ve'ahayu, and they lebashar ahad, and they will of one flesh, they of basar is flesh, and ahad is, there will be a single flesh, they will become one flesh. Okay, hayu, this then is a plural form, but it means they, and they will become one flesh. Word here is azav. Okay, Eli Eli Lama Azabatani. My God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus spoke these words on the cross because that's what happened to him there. But they were said so that with the substitution he made on the cross for us, we don't really have to say that anymore. When we make this petition to the Lord answers, because he has answered and given us the Lord and Savior Jesus as one who will keep us from being abandoned. And the Lord does not abandon us. He's most faithful to us, and he shows that through what happened with Jesus on the cross. So do not ever feel abandoned. We are cared for in Christ. Okay, so we can call it out, Eli Eli Lama Azabatani, but the Lord answers and carries us forward. So the Lord bless and the Lord keep you in this day. Until the next time.